YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Colleen and this is 𝗙𝗪𝗣𝗍 Stitches and this is Flosstube number 31. So happy New Year. Sorry it's way belated, but yeah, New Year's was a little bit crazy around our house this year. So not that it was an unhappy New Year, but yeah, very eventful. So yeah, right before New Year's, I got sick, but it wasn't COVID. It was just a combination of like belly sickness and I'm not sure, there's something like going on, like I keep inexplicably waking up like covered in rashes. So some days I wake up and it's my arms, some days it's my legs, some days it's my torso, and nothing has really changed. Nothing strange that I've eaten. I haven't changed soaps, haven't changed like washing or detergents or anything like that. And then I went for a week and it was fine, and then all of a sudden, like this last week, it's back again. So yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but some weird thing. But as long as I take a Benadryl right before I go to bed, it's a lot better. So, and no, I'm one of those, I hate going to the doctor. So unless it's life-threatening, I'll just keep using the Benadryl and creams and hope it goes away. But yeah, so New Year's, I'm not a big fan of fireworks. And New Year's, we have a house that was built just kind of kitty corner from us. So it was new from last year, and they were basically shooting off like aerials that you would see at like a fireworks show till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And it really freaked Sam out. He threw up, power puked everywhere. It was a mess. I was so mad. I was like, okay, have your fun for like 15 minutes. And then, yeah, but not a fan of fireworks in residential sections, but that's just me. I'm not going to begrudge anybody their Happy New Year, but. And then right before New Year, we got kind of double bad news. So I took Sam for his 6-week checkup for his leg surgery, and apparently one of the screws in the plate in his leg, the leg seems to be healing fine, but one of the screws is backing itself out. And basically the vet blamed me, and I was really upset. And maybe that's what kind of made me like kind of get physically ill, because I kind of like let that stuff like manifest and bother me to the point where I make myself sick. But it really upset me for a couple of days, because like I followed his like aftercare regimen to a T, including like physical therapy 3 times a day, using the hot and cold packs, like only taking him on a leash, no running, no jumping, like, and for each week, like he could only go for like 5 minutes at a time, then 10 minutes at a time. And basically the vet would accept no other explanation than I exercised him. So I was really upset. So I'm not really sure going forward what we're going to do, but he has to go back in about a week and a half, like to see where he's at, and then I guess figure out a treatment plan. And then one of his eyes, he had eye and palate surgery right before his leg surgery. And basically they were too conservative on his left eye. So his left eye is back to being messed up again. So it's just really disheartening. You spend thousands of dollars on surgeries that basically will probably have to be redone. So yeah, it was a rough start to the new year, but you know, we're all alive and we're all like basically happy and healthy otherwise. So, but yeah, so it was just one of those things. Like I said, it bothers me when you like, you know, try to be really diligent and then have someone tell you that, you know, you basically messed up. But I don't know, that it could have been, for all I know, it could be a faulty screw, it could be a faulty plate, maybe the screw didn't really lock when they tried to put it in. But I'm also a former nurse, so I also know that sometimes when you have surgery, I used to work post-surgery, you can basically do everything right and sometimes things still go wrong. So yeah, like after, it took a few days for me to kind of get over that, but anyway. So happy New Year again. And so on to the stitching stuff. So I got a few things to show you today. So I decided this year to join into WIPGO. I had never done it before. So I made up a board, and I'll kind of just put it up here really quick. You know, like not go like through every project, but for obviously this month, the squares called were 2 and 19. So I set my board up just like how they did, like I didn't mix it up or anything. So basically I just went through and I picked out 24 works in progress, which I think I had 25, because I was going to use like the free spot as either like a free chance to kit something up or to make a new start. But what I ended up deciding to do is if I finish my WIPGO squares during that month, then I'll either move on to maybe one of the other WIPs that is getting close to being done and kind of like how do you call it, waterfall that. Or if I get it done, I'll go back to, like, I still need to do some of like the monthlies from 𝗙𝗟𝗢𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗕𝗘 and finish those 𝗦𝗢𝗡𝗏 diaries. Oh, this has been years in the making. But yeah, so like go back to those. And then if it was a good stitching month, maybe start something new as like a reward. But yeah, so mine is just kind of like loosely based like that. So for squares 2 and 19, number 2 was a Noah's Ark. And I'll put the picture up right here of what it looked like at the beginning of January before I started. And basically all it needed to have done was all of the back stitching. So yeah, it was in that phase where I think I said before when I did the cut through Noah's Ark right here behind me, I did all of the stitching and left the back stitching to the end. That was the piece that I was like, I'm never doing that again. So a lot of my older pieces, that's like all that has to be done is like the back stitching. So I finished square number 2. So there's my finished Noah's Ark. So I'm super excited to have that one done. It's not very big. It's only probably about 7 inches by like 5 inches. But I have Monday off from work. Monday's the holiday, so I'll probably try to get out in the garage. I bought a little space heater because it's been kind of cold here. So bought a space heater so I'll be able to try and work out in the garage. And then I'm hoping then to take the camera out there too and do some filming out in the garage. Like I've been promising for like a really long time, but I'm going to do it. That's one of my goals this year. And just some stuff I've been thinking about is, you know, like you put things off and put things off, like, oh, well, I'll do it next week. And then next week turns into next month. And then here we are, it's next year. So, but yeah, so that's a goal. So Monday, the holiday, my house is really a disaster. It needs to be cleaned, but garage. So, square number 19 is, mine was Pretty Little Produce from Fuzzy Fox. And so, again, I'll put the picture right here of what it looked like before I started in January. And it's one of those things, this is lagged on. I started this when we lived in Hawaii, so probably like around 2018. So it's been about a 2 or 3 year project in the making, which is ridiculous because if I sit down at nighttime, I can usually do at least one of the fruits. Like if I, maybe like 3 or 4 hours at least, probably less than that, but here we are. But so I'm almost done. I think I have 4 more left to go. And then just to finish up the lettuce. Whoops. But there's the progress right there. Like I said, pretty close to being done. And the only thing that I should have done, I might have to go back for some of them. From using the 𝗙𝗟𝗢𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗕𝗘, I might have to go back and redo some of their little eyeballs. I should have waited to do all the French knots till the end, but I didn't want my veggies being flying the whole time I was working on it. So yeah, so I'm super excited. And so my framing idea for this one is I'm going to make it like a frame to make it look like an old, like roadside, and it's going to say farm fresh produce. I'm not going to stitch the border or the words on this. I'm going to let like the frame kind of do that. So, but yeah, I really love this one. So this will be for the kitchen. So I'm pretty sure I can get done. I have 15 days to jam that out. But like I said, as soon as I finish here today and finish putting the video up, I'm going to stitch. Like I said, my house is a disaster right now. We basically bought like $150 worth of yoga mats. So there's paths all through the house. So when Sam walks, his feet won't slide. So those things like pick up dirt and dog hair like you don't believe. So yeah, I need to spend some time cleaning, but stitching first. So anyways, so yeah, so sometimes at nighttime when I'm out in the living room stitching, I don't want to drag my light and everything from the back bedroom. So I have been working kind of on the sly. One of my square number 1 on my WIPGO board is bow leggy from Ink Circles. So that's what I'm working on. And so way back in 2014, so my plan was I was going to stitch these and I'm going to make them into pillows. And so back in 2014, I finished the girl, and I think it's 𝗙𝗟𝗢𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗕𝗘. And I've long either gave the pattern away or I can't find it. But yeah, so she's been done for years. So her her boyfriend is going to get done this year. But yeah, so this is where I'm at. And I would say I'm almost done. I just have basically like his lasso and the owl at the top, but that's my progress so far. And I forgot to take a picture of what it was when I started, but when I started, it was just his legs and part of the bush. So I've kind of just been working on that like at nighttime, because like I said, I'm using 18 count, but I'm stitching over 2. So it's easier, way easier to see the holes without a light, at least for my old eyes. But yeah, so I've kind of been sneaking that one in. So maybe when that one gets called, hopefully it gets called with something that needs a little bit more work, so I have more time to work on it. But yeah, I'm really, really liking utilizing WIPGO to get some of these things that have been in my stash going, like, and focusing on it. But there's always stuff that keeps calling to me, you know. I got to stay off Instagram, stay off Etsy and the like. So yeah. But yeah, so if you're doing WIPGO, let me know like what you decided to do or how you're organizing your board or whatever. But so for my middle square, like I said, I was going to use it originally like it's a free spot and make it a new start, so I could just pick something out of the kitted up projects and start something new. But I ran into a couple WIPs or UFOs, maybe, I don't know which one you want to call them, that I totally forgot about. But the first one is from 𝗪𝗏𝗍𝗓 Knit Chicks. And I have had this pattern, I'm pretty sure I bought this right, it says copyright 2005. So I'm pretty sure I bought this right when it was brand new. So I would say I probably started it about then. So somewhere between 2005, 2007. And the only thing that's left to do on it is the back stitching on the teal chicken and the yellow chicken, but the rest is back stitched. But if you've ever stitched one of these patterns from 𝗪𝗏𝗍𝗓, I love her patterns, but the back stitching, sometimes it doesn't go from just like a corner of a square. Sometimes it goes to the middle. So you have to be kind of concentrating or you kind of just have to really concentrate on the pattern. So I think that's why I just eventually put it down and I need to pick it back up. But it's so cute and I'm so close to it being done. And I have a really cute idea of how I wanted to frame this. But here we are. So what I think I'll do is either make this my middle square, or if I get one of my other ones done, maybe like the month that Bowlegged is called, sneak this one in and finish the back stitching, because probably if I just took a couple nights, I'm pretty sure there's really not that much. They're only like this big. It's not like there's thousands of hours of back stitching left to go. So, but it's just one of those things, like I said, that I'm really liking utilizing WIPGO to like get over these mental roadblocks on some of these projects that have been sitting around forever. So it'll be exciting to get them done and get them framed and stuff. So yeah, so and then the other thing that somebody on Facebook had said that the reward for like finishing squares was going to be they were going to make up a board and call it KitGo. And I had to respond to him. I was like laughing out loud. I could do KitGo probably 2 bingo boards full. I went through my kits the other day and I'm like, I have a lot of stuff kitted up. So I might even sneak those in there too, depending on what projects. Like some of my projects on my board, I like that. I only have back stitching left to do. So if I get that done in a week, that maybe I'll sneak in some new starts. And some of them, I'll show you a couple. I kitted up a couple, a couple more. I'm not sure why I ever missed this, but it's so pretty. But this was from Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it's in a 4-part series. But it's the 4 seasons band sampler. But it's so pretty. And I'll list below in the comments the 4 different issues. And I couldn't find them all. So what I ended up doing was this was from September, October 2011. I had this issue. Like I said, one day I just started going through my patterns. I was like, where were you all this time? But I ended up ordering one of those Annie's, I think I found it either on eBay or Etsy, an Annie's disc that has all the back issues of Just Cross Stitch. So now I have the other ones. So I went ahead and like kitted that up in somewhere. I'm not sure what I did with the piece of fabric, but I bought some fabric for it. Just like a neutral color, nothing fancy. But so I see that and I'm itching to start that too. And then over the years, like I used to do a lot of 𝗪𝗡𝗪. And one day I'm going to put together a little compilation of all of the cross stitch pieces that I have pictures of, but I either gave away as gifts or whatever. But I've used to do a lot of 𝗪𝗡𝗪, and I love 𝗪𝗪𝗪. And one of my favorites is Cross and Patch and 𝗪𝗡𝗪𝗪. And just love those patterns. So I've had this pattern in my stash forever. And I have a couple of hers, but this is the one that I kitted up, and it's the unfinished sampler. And so I bought all the material, and I'm going to do it pretty much how she shows on the cover. So I bought it's kind of like a light olive green material, and then the threads, the pearl cotton is basically exactly the same color. So it'll kind of be like tone on tone. So I kitted that one up, and I had to order one more ball I found it at Stony Creek. So, but now I have all the threads and some really pretty silken colors. So I'm excited that one's at least kitted out. So someday, but I really want to hope to get to it this year. Like, I went through some of my patterns and kind of picked out some of the ones that I've had for a really long time that really need to get stitched. So I'm going to try and concentrate on that this year versus buying stash. So, and I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy stash, because I already have, but I'm going to try and like limit myself and kind of go back and start stitching some of those like nostalgic pieces that I was originally drawn to years ago. So it would be a shame to not get those stitched. So now I'll just show you. So I only have one frame finished to show. And it was from Halloween, but I finally got around to finishing the carving and the finishing. But this was from an old Pine Mountain pillow kit, but I ended up not stitching it as the pillow, and I decided to do it as a frame. But this was like the Alphabet Spooky Sampler, ABC, I think. I'll put the exact name in the description below. But I'll get a little bit closer so you can see the little carved pumpkins, and they're kind of like 3D, but it's all kind of carved in one piece. And then I used it's kind of hard to see. There's some wire that kind of spirals up the frame. But yeah. So in this one, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but the way that I put the pumpkins on the bottom, it's going to be a tabletop, so it'll stand up. So yeah, I ended up getting a new phone, and so my new phone is kind of a different format than my other one. So I need to figure out better like how to get more, I don't know, like so you can see like stuff if I sit it down like this. But yeah, so I thought it came out really cute. So I'll set that right there. And there you go, so you can see it. And then, so now I'll show, so I have a couple of framed rescues. So these aren't pieces that I stitched myself, but I'm always for like, hey, if I find something that can be rescued that I don't have to stitch, but I can put on my wall and enjoy it, I will. So I can't take any credit for doing the stitching or the finishing, but of course they're both in my favorite theme, Noah's Ark. But yeah, I couldn't resist, so I had to pick these up. So the first one was fully finished and framed. It's a fancy bat, Noah's Ark. And it's framed actually just like on the front of the picture. So when I saw this, I was so excited. So I'm like, hey, it's one less ark that I have to stitch. So, but yeah, the stitching is beautiful. And it's on a really cute, it's kind of like on a heathered, probably like a 14 or might even be a little bit bigger count. It might be like a 10 count. Oh, but it was so cute. So it rescued, and it has a wonderful home. So for whoever actually stitched it, there's no initials or anything written on the back, but it has a wonderful home here with all my other arks. So be rest assured. So now I need to find a place. So what I think I'm going to do on the wall, like opposite of me right here, is all Halloween pictures and stuff like that. So what I think I might do is move those to one of like the outer hallways, like opposite of where I put all my Christmas stuff, and then finish filling up the rest of my office with just Noah's Ark, because everything else like on this back wall and side wall is Noah's Ark too. So my favorite. But yeah. So so then the next one is, sorry, it fell over. This is a really vintage pattern. And again, let's see. It was originally framed at Frame Mart in Marion, Iowa. So I probably maybe would have to go look and see like when or where they were located, maybe for like a time frame. But I have never seen this pattern before. And I think I'm just going to leave it framed just how it is, just because it kind of has like a vintage quality. But it's so cute. And I just love it. So again, there's no initials, so I'm not sure. It looks like it's on about an 18, probably a 16 count, like kind of like a heathered Ada. But yeah, so I'm not sure, like I said, like again, like time frame, how old this is, but I've never seen this pattern before. So now it has another happy home with all the other arcs. But yeah, I was super excited in this, and it's very well, the framer did a wonderful job. Like it's really nice and even and everything like that. So yeah, so that one will get to go up on the wall. I have many other arcs that need to get framed, and I'm probably gonna pull down maybe later this week, maybe on Monday, I'll pre-tape a couple. I wanna do 2 different videos. One, I'm gonna pull everything out of the closet that still needs to be finished and just go through these poor things have been waiting years to be framed. There's a lot. I thought I made a dent and stuff last year, but I really didn't. And then I'll have to do it kind of like video style. So I was thinking maybe doing like a video with no talking, just maybe like an introduction, and then finding some like subtle music and just do like a slideshow of basically like all my finishes. But I have a ton, probably about 30 or 40 of like pieces that I've just given away over the years or whatever. And just to show some of the different framing and finishing from over the years. So yeah, I might do that Monday. So I know I probably say that, but you know how it is. You try to say like, oh, I'm going to get all this stuff done today. And then you only get 2 or 3 things done on your list, or something comes up or whatever. But so yeah, so let me just show you really quick a few things for stash. I'm going to start with, I got this book as a Christmas gift, and it's called Retro Cross Stitch Patterns. And it looks like it's from, let me look for you really quick, Schiffer Publishing. And it's called Retro Cross Stitch 500 Patterns, French Charm for your stitch work. So that's what it looks like. And I think it probably came from maybe Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, but it is a really nice book. There is so many like cute patterns you could do in here for like quick gifts. Let me just show you a couple of examples really quick, like some of the pictures. And there's all different themes. So there's like a nautical theme. That one says ocean, but they all kind of look like, and here's one like skiing, but they're very like, yes, they're very French and vintage looking. So many fun patterns in this book. So if you're looking for smalls to either do maybe for like cross stitch cards or small gifts or small finishes, these might even be great for gift tags. That was my thought too, was maybe for next Christmas, try to sneak in like a few of these, because most of them, and I know I say this because sometimes at nighttime lately when I get done working, I don't sew at night. I would say last week, 3 out of the 5 nights, I only put a few stitches in. I'm like, oh, I'm too tired. But I thought that this would be, or you could even make like a sampler of your own by combining elements. But yeah, the palettes are just really pretty and really cute patterns. So if you can find this book, I definitely recommend it. Even if just to have in your stash. Just another fun tool to have in the cupboard. So the next one I'm going to show, this is a pattern from Plum Street Samplers, and it comes, it's an exclusive from Fox and Rabbit. And I ordered it, I'm in Texas, and I think it probably came in about a week and a half after I ordered it. So it came pretty quickly, and very reasonable for the shipping. And I'll get a little bit closer so you can see the pattern if you haven't seen it. But it's called Spring Moon. It has like a rabbit and a house and a bowl, like a little wood bowl with flowers. But so I pulled I went ahead and kitted up all the threads, and I'm doing mine on, I'll show you really quick why I chose this, but I'm doing it on like it's kind of like a mottled brown and green. It has a little bit of what I would call pinkish undertones. But my plan is, because I'm a lazy stitcher, I'm just going to let the flowers at the bottom down here be the negative space. So I'll just let the fabric be the flowers. So I chose a little bit darker green for that bottom row of grass. So I can just let the grass be, or the flowers be like the negative space. So I probably won't stitch those. And I think I bought 36 count. So I'm just going to do it over 2, or no, over 1. So I can just use 1 strand. So I'm just going to do it so it's smaller. So I've been trying to like scale down lately pieces, if I can stitch them on smaller counts, because this house, I think I've talked about this before, our old house had an upstairs, so there was like a big wall going up the stairs. There was just a lot of wall space in that house. And this house doesn't seem to have that. Like the kitchen has a lot of open archways, and then the way we have furniture placed, the kitchen, and then a big mirror. The kitchen has very limited wall space, and then the hallways. So I kind of have to be a little bit more selective. I can't let things get super big. And one of the pieces that I need to frame is from Brooks Books. I did the Wizard of Oz really long. That one I would really like to get framed this year, but I'm not sure where I'm going to put it once I frame it. I might have to sell it because to somebody that'll appreciate it, because there's really not a great place to put it, but we'll see. But anyway, but that was a fun stitch. So next, so some of I really haven't done too much other than that stash shopping, except for just filling in some flosses for the things that I have kitted up. But I did find this pattern. This came from eBay, and it's a vintage pattern from 𝗪𝗡𝗪 by Bev, and it's the Lone Star Sampler. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but I'll kind of get close. I'm going to stitch this. I kind of got to like pull out my, like thread guide. I want to change the colors. I either want to make it more vibrant or maybe more like Texas-ish versus having it muted. But I thought this would just be nice to have hanging in my house. So I snagged that one up. And then this one I just got right before New Year's. Our local needlework shop had a sale. So of course, I got to go shopping. So I picked up just a couple fun patterns. Hopefully get to this one before 4th of July, but it's Bent Creek, Uber flag. And it says, "You're a grand old flag, a high flying flag, forever in peace may you wave." So I just thought that one was really cute. And then I'm just trying to fill in like different holidays. Like I really like 4th of July, obviously Halloween, Christmas. But there's like some holidays like 4th of July, I really don't have a lot of stitch pieces. So I thought that would be a fun one. And then this one is really cute. I've always been a fan of Sisters and Best Friends, and then obviously Amy Brukin, but I picked up Be Merry. So that one's super cute. And I really like how they have it framed too. So if I get this one done, I'll probably frame it very similar with like the polka dots or whatever. So, or maybe even the checkerboard or both, who knows. But yeah, that came with all the charms and stuff. But I haven't pulled any threads for this yet. But I think I would like to get fabric that has like the snowflakes already printed on it. That would be cute. So that is actually it for as far as like stash shopping. The only other thing that I purchased was I forgot to bring it in here with me, but I'll just put a picture right here to show you my progress. I'm doing a bunch of patterns, the patriotic patterns from Sub Rosa Design, and I'm going to stack them. So it's going to be like a little tall sampler. So just taking her patterns, but like stitching them one on top of the other. And I still had a couple patterns that I hadn't purchased for like towards the top. So, and I'm still way down at the bottom. So just like a reminder, when I stitch a pattern, I start at the bottom. I stitch bottom up and from left to right. So it's kind of like building blocks. So I'm only like 2 patterns in, but I'll kind of give you a rough idea of like what I have in mind to do. And then the last pattern that I have, this is actually a free pattern from Jeanette Douglas Designs, and I've always really loved her designs. I've done her woodland sampler, and I actually turned it into a like to commemorate our wedding, so our wedding dates on it. I just think she has really nice patterns. But so she has just a really cute. My stepmom had told me about this one. She sent me a picture. She's like, "Do you ever see this?" And so it's a really simple little pattern. It's called 4 Crabs Pin Pillow. So it's just like 4 little crabs. But what I'm going to do is, it kind of sparked okay, I shouldn't say what I'm going to do. What I want to do, and I'm sure then I'll have to start doing it, is like figure out what size it'll be and make the pin cushion into like a little hat. So think of like an old salty sailor that wears like that little kind of sailor hat, kind of cannon on his head. So I think I'm going to carve in wood, like an old salty sailor, and make his hat be the pincushion. And then maybe find some cute pins from maybe Just Another Button Company with like a seagull or a starfish or something like that. So that's the idea. So now that I have that idea in my head, that's all I want to do. But I have all this other stuff and work. So maybe Monday, maybe that would be, I was thinking that would be a really fun piece to like show you how I lay out an idea on a piece of wood and maybe just follow that start to finish. So maybe like every time I film a floss tube, I'll show like a little segment of the progress of how that's coming. So like I said, my challenge right now is trying to figure out like how to shoot it and then how to edit it. I started one and it didn't come out like how I thought it was going to. So I'm going to try and maybe watch some YouTube videos on how to do like better like editing and splicing and how to make your ideas flow in a video. So it's not so, yeah, because it didn't come out. It wasn't something fun to watch or easy to watch. So, but yeah, so I thought that would be a great project for this year, even if it took me all year from start to finish, because we all remember the saga of First Frost, right? But just to follow from start to finish, and that way you can kind of see like just how I do it. And I don't think that there's really any right way. Everybody has their own way, kind of just like stitching. There's no right or wrong way of how you start, how you finish, or whatever. So, but yeah, so that's about it in my world today. But thanks for watching. And yeah, let me know if you're doing WIPGO and how's that going. And again, I apologize that I haven't been on here sooner. But again, I have Monday off from work, so I'm going to try and just get up early and just start plugging through my to-do list. So, but yeah, so if you have a minute, send some good thoughts up. We're taking Sam back to the eye doctor on Friday. And hopefully we get some answers of what's going on with one of his eyes. So my poor baby, he's such a sweet dog too. The sweetest boy ever, but the eye just doesn't want to get right. So, and then we'll tackle the leg the following Monday. So, but yeah, other than that, I hope you all are doing great. Thanks again for watching and joining me. And till next time, happy stitching. Bye.